Today, I'm gonna show you how to care for a glove step by step, exactly how you should do it if it's been left out in the rain overnight. Now, this experience happened to me a couple years ago and it shook me because I literally thought my glove was destroyed forever and I was gonna need a new one. The important thing for you to know is that your glove is not destroyed and you can get it to return to exactly normal, the exact way you had it, just as long as you follow these steps very, very carefully. You need to know your glove is not destroyed. It's just altered by the water and it can return to normal quite easily with minimal effort. And I'm gonna show you how to do it step by step. Let's get into the video. So the glove I have here on my hand is soaked to the core. It's literally 2 times heavier. It weighs 2 times heavier and I could literally squeeze water out of it if I tried. So I'm gonna be showing you how to take it from this to back to the way you had it, the exact same way it was performing, dry and perfect without ruining it. Trust me, your glove is fine and it can be fixed. So my very first step is actually gonna sound a little weird to probably most of you, and it's not to run to the nearest box fan and throw it under there for 24 hours to try and get it to dry as quick as possible. It's actually gonna sound weird. It's actually cleaning the glove first. Let me explain a little further. In case you couldn't see already, this glove has a bunch of dirt on it, mud stains. Basically, it's got smears on the thumb and a bunch of debris on the back because it was sitting out in the muddy ground in the rain. So if you were to go ahead and dry this right now, it would dry with all of the dirt on it and it would dry with all of the mud stains on it. And essentially, once it was dry, if you tried to brush and wipe all that off, it would leave somewhat permanent stains in the sense of it won't come off unless you get the glove wet again to then scrub it off with a glove cleaner. So please save yourself the time and just basically clean the glove before you dry it. I'm gonna show you how to because it's actually super easy. Like I said, the best part about this that it's wet is that, well, it's already wet. So because it's wet, we can now just apply a little bit of water to wash off the brown spots, aka all the mud. And essentially what that's going to do is it's going to give us a clean glove so then we can dry it without having to worry about stains. So let me show you how to do it. Just take a tiny bit of water and brush off all of that mud. And then once you've got that spot clean, don't do any overkill. You're basically done. Just go over the spots that have dirt on them like this. Check out your glove, make sure it's dry. And now all that mud is gone. And now you have a clean glove that you can now begin the drying process with. So our second step after you've cleaned it is now starting the drying process. And I'm actually going to recommend before you use any type of fan, just air drying, any type of drying method, you're going to want to use a towel first, and here's why. This glove is going to be soaked to the core. So you're going to take a towel and you're literally just going to try and absorb all the water you can. Literally dry it as much as you can until the leather feels not so wet, and you're going to want to try and get in the glove because in the glove is where it's going to take the most to dry. Here's the method that I like to use for using a towel when drying your glove. Basically, you're going to put it down, lay the towel out, and then you're just going to roll it into the glove like this. And now you can just literally use your body weight to squeeze the excess water out, and I can feel the towel getting wet. So this is all water that would have to evaporate if you went straight to drying it. We're kind of just cutting the line of time and making the drying process shorter so you can get your glove back quicker. And once you've squeezed out all the water you feel like you can, the glove already feels 1,000 times drier. Now we can move on to our third step. So step number 3 is actually not something that's like super like important sounding, but let me tell you, it's going to go a long way. You're going to want to make sure you're happy with the shape of your glove or try to reshape it to the shape you had it. So if you wore your glove traditional finger out with a thumb and pinky flare, make sure it's shaped like this before it dries, because if it dries in an ugly shape, then it's going to keep that ugly shape when it dries, and it's going to be extremely hard to mold it back to the shape you had it before it was wet. So make sure it closes the way you want it to. Make sure you have the flare that you want if you flare it, how you're wearing it. Make sure you have your glove the way you want it before it dries, so when it dries you don't have to worry about reshaping it. And now for the actual drying process. The actual drying process is extremely easy. You could leave it on your desk, on a dresser, anywhere far away from where it could be messed with, and just leave it there for days. If you're on a time crunch, yes, you can use a box fan, you can turn on the ceiling fan, you can use certain types of fans. I wouldn't recommend using a hairdryer. the heat is not going to be good for the leather, so don't use something like that. But you can dry it as quickly as you want. Just don't use something like a hairdryer. Use any box fan. You can turn on the ceiling fan like I said, or you could just let it dry. But when it comes to drying, just make sure you're drying it smartly by using something that's not going to harm it, like a hairdryer. And then once it's dry, we can move on to step number 5. And now the glove that was once soaked to the core is finally dry. It took roughly 3 days for it to dry, but it is 100% dry. This thing was wet all the way through, and now it's dry just like any other baseball glove. And that brings us to our next step. And the reason why we have more steps after it drying is because now, when you pick this thing up, you'll be astounded to see that it is actually stiff. Like, it feels like a brand new Walmart glove without ever being broken in. And that might seem weird to you because your glove was floppy before it dried. Now that it's dry, something about the process of the water evaporating makes the leather re-stiffen. That's going to bring us to our next step, which is called waking up the glove. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, the method I'm using to wake this glove up is what I would even say quite unnecessary. So I'm going to be using a mallet. You don't even need to use a mallet. Basically, if you just like rub the glove around a ton, like squish it down like this, and basically just try and loosen up the leather, you should be fine. But because I have a mallet at my disposal, I'm going to use a mallet. And if you have a mallet too, what you would do is basically just hit the glove around a ton and just try to get it back to the way you had it. So if you closed it like this, then just hit however you would do to get it to achieve that shape. If you have a 1 hinge close, hit it for a 1 hinge. You basically just want to loosen the glove up, and however you broke the glove in, that's kind of how you want to hit the glove. And that brings us to our last step of taking care of a glove that was left out in the rain, and it's conditioning it. So you just need glove conditioner. Any kind will do. You can get a cheap kind. This is made by Sarna, which is kind of the best. But basically, since it's dry, all that water is evaporated. Now the leather is extremely dry. Your leather will start to crack and peel if you don't keep it conditioned, and especially after it's been wet. So you're going to want to just condition the entire glove. Please do not skip this, because otherwise your glove might end up being ruined. And then once you're done that, you're basically done. You can now go play catch. And after you've conditioned your glove, it should be 100% ready to go. That's literally all the steps. If you've completed all of those, your glove should be literally 100% fine. It should be performing the exact way as before it got wet. It might even be better. I would really recommend that when it's wet, if there's something about it that you don't like, the shape, the way it closes, go ahead and fix that. And then when it dries, it'll be even better. The last thing I would recommend is just to go play catch. But that's like literally it. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more, because I'll be coming out with more very, very soon. And as always, God bless. Peace out.